Hello again, YouTube. It is 5:47 p.m. Saturday, March 26th, 2022, and I'm in Portland. Rather beautiful part of Portland that has a freeway over there and mountains and residential towers that will always be out of my budget. And holy shit, this elevator does work. There was a sign that said tired of broken elevators, and it I never know what button to press. Like, that's cryptic. I guess G for ground? There was a sign at the front of this that said tired of broken elevators with information about like what to do about that. And it just looks so vandalized, which makes me sad. Like, this is a facility you think residents would be proud of and want to keep clean and nice, but wow, that was really cool. And I feel like I wasted my time, but I really wanted to ride this elevator because I just walked up the stairs. That's fine. I'll walk up the stairs again. It's good for me. This, by the way, before I go back up the stairs, this right here is the station to the Portland Ariel tramway. And by the way, I mostly walked here, did a combination since I ended the last video. I walked all over Washington Park and the neighborhood surrounding Washington Park. I forget what the heck it's called, something Heights. It's like multi-million-dollar gorgeous houses that were fun to walk by. I have no business being in. Anyway, I eventually crossed the streetcar, and I already got a max ticket for the day, so I took the streetcar up to here, which is cool because it's one of the places I was wanting to get to. This is kind of neat. I forget the name of the street that I'm on right here, but not only do you have two lanes for cars, but you got the streetcar that runs on each side of it, so you got rails there, and then you got a very wide separated bike lane, which obviously works good for scooters. Although those guys are like, "Fuck the bike lane, I'm on the sidewalk," and then also a sidewalk, which is separate from the bike lane, which is nice. I mean, I'm all for good bicycle infrastructure, but it sucks when I'm walking on the sidewalk and somebody goes flying by me on a bike, especially considering that most sidewalks just really aren't wide enough to be shared like that. So that up there, that's where I came from. I started this video up there, and I will head back up there, but I figure since I'm rolling video, I may as well share. I wanted to share the street because I dig the multimodal infrastructure and how it's not dominantly cars on this street. And there's some rental scooters there. Now this is interesting. So apparently this walkway here, because there's nowhere to drive, is Gibbs Street. I dig those. Those are the newer Portland street signs with the roses on them that are kind of oval shaped. Yeah, those aren't everywhere. In fact, those aren't in a lot of places. So yeah, over here we've got some spin rental scooters. I still haven't logged into any scooter apps, and so far the only one I've downloaded is Lime. No change in apps since the end of the last video. I've honestly been having way too much fun just walking around and enjoying the view and the weather. It's a little chilly, but it's pretty nice, and it's not raining. I'm good. It ain't raining. I'm good. So what we have here is docking for rental bikes, and no bikes here, just a lot of docking. And this is why I've never been a fan of docked rental bikes. I mean, for me, the purpose of a bike is to be able to just ride from point A to point B. Riding from a dock to another dock, yeah, that doesn't work for me. But this is called Bike Town. I have seen some other places where the Bike Town docks are, and there's actually bikes at them. And apparently these have an electric boost on them. Not to be confused with an electric bike. It's an electric assist bike. Pay as you go. $1 ton lock. Get a annual membership. You still got to pay 10 cents a minute to ride. Park at stations. Yeah, that's where they lose me, is park at stations. But I haven't seen dockless rental bikes in a long time. So as I said, this is Gibbs Street, and Gibbs is a completely pedestrian street, except for the streetcar rail that runs on it. This is what's called the North-South line. There's 3 different streetcar lines, and I forget the names of them. One is called North-South, and I think the other 2 are named after colors, which is a little confusing. I dig the pedestrian streets. It's after living so much of my life in Phoenix, it's hard to imagine streets that are for people and not for cars. But here we have one, even though it only goes a block. So this thing on the left that I keep kind of looking at and then turning away from, this is something I really, really wanted to check out that, I'm really disappointed by. So this is the Portland Ariel Tram, and it's just that. It's got a gondola, rides across, and currently it's not for use by the general public. So it's that's a little disappointing. I was really looking forward to riding on that, but that's fine. I think what I'm going to actually do, and I might go ahead and shoot video along the way, is I'm going to walk the length of the tram, which pretty much goes down this street here. And it's interesting. Here we have a pedestrian intersection of 2 streets, but since there's no cars, there also seems to be no street signs. That kind of sucks. Now this is kind of interesting because here you can see, we got bike racks, and you got locks, locks that are there without bikes, which kind of tells you how not safe it is to leave your bike attached to them. And this is probably why you see there's multiple bike racks here and there's no bikes on them. But there's some rather expensive locks still hanging there. So not a fan of outdoor bike racks for obvious reasons. So here's another streetcar station. Those on the streetcar line seem to run about every block, every 2 blocks. They're very closely paced together. Here's the thing to get the fare. That's out of service. Now I'm using what's called a max pass. Here's a map of the streetcars. And you got the I guess they're A and B, clockwise and counterclockwise, A loop, B loop, and then the other one's called North-South line. And as you see, basically you got a clockwise loop and a counterclockwise loop, which often run on adjacent streets as opposed to the same street. And then the North-South one, I'm down in this area. You are here, OHSU Commons. And it also goes through this neighborhood here. I'm not really sure what that is. I haven't been up to that area. I did get around like this area yesterday while I was walking, and I didn't shoot much video yesterday because I was just kind of walking and exploring. I didn't have a lot of space on my phone. That was kind of an issue as well. I didn't find a lot of places where I had access to Wi-Fi. So there's where the Ariel Tram goes. It looks like there's a street pretty much directly underneath it. So I think I'm going to walk that and bring y'all with me just because I can. This is kind of neat because I get the feeling that it wasn't always a pedestrian street with a streetcar rail on it.